Hello! First off, I want to say thank you for purchasing the Norcostco UIL 2014 lighting package. And my name is Dan, and I'm going to show you how to use it. So first off, let's talk about what all comes in the package. You have the American DJ Mega Flat Pack 8, which is 8 LED lighting fixtures that come with safety cables and XLR cables and power cables. And you have 2 tripods with crossbars, including the hardware to hang the fixtures, and then 1 Elation Scene Setter 48 lighting console. So here are a few things that the finished system is capable of. If you are using the 3-set channel mode, which is what we have set up, then you can control each of the fixtures' colors individually. 3-channel, using the first 3, will be red, green, blue. So all of them we can do red, green, blue, and then all together will be full white. So red will be the first channel of every section of 3. So 1 and 4, 7 and 10, 13 and 16, 19 and 22. Since we only have 8 fixtures, 3 channels times 8 is 24. So you're only using the top half of your board. You can also use the crossfade on the board by setting one look in the top in the A and another look in B and crossfading. If you're doing a 2-scene preset, you need to change your mode down to this one, A and B double preset. Other things to think about are on your master crossfades, your full for each preset is on opposite ends. So that's full for A and B, and that's at 0 for A and B. Meaning that you can start with one full look in preset A and move down to a full look in B while fading out A. So for the 2-scene preset crossfading mode, you have one look set in your A, in your top, preset A, and then you set another one in B. Just a random look. And then using the crossfaders on the side, you move power out of one into the other. Like that. If you have a show that you are doing, like your UIL show or another show later, you can use the board's step feature, which is kind of like a cue button. There's probably a better way to say that, isn't there? Alright, now that you have seen what it can do, let's talk about how you set it up. So when you pull the fixtures out of the bag, there's nothing attached to them. You've got the fixture, and then what comes with the stand per fixture is a bolt, 2 washers, and a wing nut. And putting it together is as simple as dropping the bolt with 1 washer through the hole in the crossbar, attaching your fixture, your second washer, and your wing nut. There. Wiring, think about it as you're wiring a series. We've done it as number 1 being connected to the board, and then your last fixture is the end, and that's where we're starting with. So, last fixture is only going to have 1 connection coming out of it, and then into the next one, out of it, into the next one, out, in, all the way to the front. You've got your cables that came in the bag, and the one that you're going to start with is the female plug into the male connector, and then your power will only fit into 1. So the male end is plugged into a power strip, and the female end plugs into the fixture. And you take your other end of your XLR cable to your next fixture, and there you go. So these cables, the non-power cables, are running a DMX signal, which tells the instruments what to do. And we are going to tell the instruments where they are and what they can do with these address buttons on the back. So the first one I like to start with is the setup that tells it how many channels so we can do our red, green, blue. So you press setup, and the first thing it'll show you is address, but click it again and it'll say CH, and ours is already set to 03, but you can adjust that by doing up and down. If you have more channels, you have more functions, you may not need all of them, and that won't fit in the version of the program that we're doing. So I would stick with 3 channels for this. Second thing we're going to do is to set the address. So this is our first instrument, the one that's connected to the board directly. And we're going to select it by doing setup. And you'll see that it's A001. That means that it is going to be starting at channel 1 on your board. And on this instrument, your second one, the setup mode will say A004, because that is the next place in line that will give you a red. So you've got red as 1, green as 2, blue as 3, and then red as 4, green as 5, blue as 6, and so on. So after you address, you now have to turn the default function off on every fixture. You want to turn that off because otherwise when you power down, you lose all of the settings that you just put in and you have to reprogram every time. So you get there by pressing mode. You're going to press it 5 times until you get to the one that says D. And then it will be D on and D off. You select by going up or down. So make sure you leave it on off. And I just remembered that you have to press mode to go back to address as your final setting, or the instrument's not on the right thing. Now we have the cable coming from the first instrument, our A001, which is a male end, and there's only one place it can go on this board, DMX out female. Makes a nice little pop, and then you can turn your power on. Okay, now that we're set up, let's talk about programming. Once you've turned the board on, the first thing that's going to happen is the blackout button is going to be blinking. Nothing will work, no matter what you do, if that button is blinking. So, click that to turn it off, and now, stuff is happening. After that, you can start working on your initial looks, making sure that your master faders are up or down appropriately for what you're trying to do. You have some other useful buttons down here, like full on, will show you everything. You've also got these buttons. On the bottom of every fader is what we call a bump or a jump button. And if you press it, you get not only a light up there, but it's something is happening on the instrument itself. So 1 is giving me red on that first fixture at full. Green, blue, red, green, blue. That way, if you just kind of want to see something, you can do that. If you're running a recorded show, you need to return back to the first mode, channels and scenes. So programming is actually all inside your Scene Setter 48 user manual. If you skip to page 7, that tells you how to enter the recording mode. The default is press and hold record and tap the jump buttons 1, 6, and 6, 8, which it says all the way down there. So that's like record, press and hold, 1, 6, 6, 8. When you release them both, you will see all of the lights flash. Now you're in record mode, so you can set your first look. We're just going to do something random here. Now nothing would work if my master fader wasn't at full, so remember that. Now that you've got this look, you press your record button, everything flashes, and your step number appears in the top. If you want to do a blackout between, you need to record something that is fully dark. So you hit record. We have a few saved in here before, and that's why it started with 4 instead of 1. Once you've got all of the cues in that you want to save, you press and hold record, and then you choose an unused section from down here. Ours, we've got 1 and 2 already saved, and maybe 3, so I'm going to jump to 4. And then when you release, you get everything blinking again, and the final step to get out of record mode, record, exit. The end. So now to run that, we're in the right mode already, and both of these are at full, or both of our faders are at full. I'm going to slide up number 4, which is going to bring up our first look, and then you hit step, and that takes me to my blackout, which is my second look, takes me to my third, that look, and that time I didn't use a blackout, I jumped to another one, and that's all the way finished. Something else to remember are your fade and your speed. If I have my fade on instant, it does what just happened the last time. It doesn't fade in between your steps. So if I move it down, it's going to fade into that and then fade out. It's very important in show mode that you have your speed in show mode. Otherwise, it'll run through all of your cues on its own with a speed of whatever your fader is at. So make sure that's in show mode. I think we've got it all covered. If you have any questions, you can always consult your user manuals or call us at the store Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, or Saturday, 10 to 5, and we'll be happy to help you with any questions that you have. All right, thank you, and enjoy your lighting package.